Hey, shalom, shalom. Hey, first and foremost, want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Hey, double honors to the apostles, elders at Great Millstones, salutations to Akim that's out there doing the work of truth and sincerity. All right, really quick, just wanted to do a quick lesson, and it's around the realm of basically not giving up because of, our current condition, because the wicked is in rulership, you know. Um, we want to enjoy our lives with balance, okay? We know also the scriptures talk about going to the house of mourning rather than the house of mirth. And but it's no, just because the wicked is in rule and the world is upside down doesn't it's no excuse for us to give up. You know, but with balance, enjoy what we have. Appreciate it. I guess that's the message. Appreciate what you have and appreciate yourself and have confidence in yourself. Um, love yourself, and basically that's what I'm going to go into, because yes, this world has a pull on your spirit. This flesh has a pull on your spirit. It weighs you down. Brothers, we go through depression, we go through oppression, we go through everything under the sun, but that's no excuse to give up. We have the truth. We ultimately know what's going to happen to this world and to the wicked, you know. And hey, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. I just had a few precepts, and I'm going to go into them. All right, so this is Proverbs 11:1. It says, "A false balance is an abomination to the Lord Yahweh, but a just weight is his delight." All right, so the Lord deals in balance. You can't tilt the scale to one side more than the other, okay? Because that's an abomination. All right, that's detestable to the Lord. Okay, so you're supposed to be balanced in your life. How definitely how you deal with yourself, mainly yourself, because that speaks volumes to how you deal with everything else. You don't just want to give up. All right, you're supposed to have joy of your life. Though we we're oppressed and all of this other stuff. We're still supposed to treat ourselves with respect. Because it trickles down. It trickles down to how you treat your family, so on and so forth. You know, so our condition ain't an excuse to just give up. Okay, and mainly here, it mainly starts here. All right, and we have to have confidence enough to basically or have just have that confidence where we are okay with who we are, and hey, Lord willing, this is edifying. I only had a few precepts, so Salakia. My next scripture is 1 Corinthians 7:31. It says, "And they that use the world as not abusing it." All right, and so we do have pretty much the we pretty much have the leave to do what we want, but it comes with balance. You don't want to abuse the privilege that you've been given. All things are lawful but not expedient. So we got to take that into consideration. And this is Salakia. So Sirach 30 and 21. Let me see out here. This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus 30 and 21. It says, "Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel." All right, that's pretty much self-explanatory, because it's easy to always down yourself, because you're not meeting the standards that that you can potentially be, so I'll continue. It says the gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. So we gotta be mindful of that. We're supposed to have joy, though the scriptures say go to the house of mourning rather than the house of feasting, which I'm gonna get. But once again, it's balance. We live in a world where it's pure evil. Literally, the people that run this earth, the scriptures talk about the earth given into the hand of the wicked, and the wicked own this earth, so of course we sigh and cry for the abominations that go on in the midst thereof, you know, but also with our own lives, with who we are. We're supposed to build in faith. We're supposed to be, you know, happy with ourselves, you know. And it's like I said, once again, it's, you know, the things that's going on in the world is not an excuse to just give up on yourself, you know, and you know, not take care of yourself. You want to take care of yourself, you know. You don't want to fall into a state of depression where now you're not taking care of yourself. You're not brushing your teeth. You're not, you know, washing your body. You know, you're just giving up. You're not supposed to be like that, you know. All right, and the Lord, you know, that's pretty much tempting the Lord, man. You don't want to do that, you know. But it says the gladness of heart is the life of man. All right, and your gladness, what are you glad about? What are you happy about? You know, you should be happy about this truth. That's the main thing, you know. It says, "In the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days." So, what are we joying in? We ask the Lord to give us joy in His salvation. You know, it says, "Love thine own soul." All right, and comfort thy heart, meaning your mind. Remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow hath killed many. You see, and there is no profit therein. So there's no profit of being sorrowful. So there's a difference. All right, there is a difference between, you know, having that godly sorrow, having a contrite spirit, you know, knowing that you're a wretched man, but there's balance within that. You know, you have to have joy that you have this truth, and at times we could, you know, tilt the scale when it comes to, you know, beating ourselves up for not meeting that standard. You know, and the scriptures talk about perfection and reaching the level of perfection. You know, which we're only going to do that through the Spirit. You know, and the Lord is going to, you know, do the rest for us. But we have to, you know, make some type of ground. So Salakia, it says, "And there is no profit therein." It says, "Envy and wrath shorten the life." What are we envious about? You know, why? Because we don't have the riches. You know, the scriptures talk about better is the poor man than, you know, who walk in his uprightness, than the perverse, though he be rich. And I'm gonna get that. That's Proverbs 28:6. It says, "Envy and wrath shorteneth the life." And see, that's what these devils, man, they have envy and wrath. You know, they have envy and wrath towards the poor. So we're not supposed to be like them. You know, it says, "And carefulness bringeth age before the time." All right, carefulness, meaning basically discretion. All right, "A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet," and that goes to how you, what you eat, and how you taking care of yourself, man. You know, because at times we could be eating a whole bunch of junk, you know, and really we're supposed to be developing, you know, an attitude towards eating better, even praying more and fasting more, which of course, you know, we don't do all the time. You know, in fact, we should pay attention to those things. Those are the rare things: fasting, praying, and taking care of your body, not just giving up. You know, and yeah, I'm guilty of it as well, because I allowed the world to I allowed the world to weigh me down. Okay, and this is 2nd Ezra 14:14. It says, let me see. I want to start up. I'll start at 13, but the point being in 14. 2nd Ezra 14:13. It says, "Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people, comfort such of them as be in trouble. And now renounce corruption." And that's what we're supposed to be doing, renouncing corruption. All right, which is this world. It's the fashion of this world. Okay. It says 14, "Let go from the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature." All right, and it's this flesh that weighs down your spirit, it weighs down your thoughts. Okay, And the only way we can do that is if we find the right balance within, you know, how we study, what we're digesting, what we're putting into ourselves. You know, let go from the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man. Which, you know, the burdens of man is, you know, everything that we deal with on a daily basis, having to pay bills, having to, you know, just, you know, and with us, we bear a lot. We bear the shame of the nation on our shoulders. We bear a lot, you know. But it says, put off the weak nature and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. And how do you do that? Well, of course, the scriptures is the comforter, all right. And so we're supposed to develop a mentality whereas we are not stuck in this world, stuck in the same mindset, okay? Because the scriptures talk about this being living waters, all right. So there's a vast amount of information, knowledge, understanding that we can get from, balancing out how we deal with ourselves, how we treat ourselves. Love thine own soul, and that goes into how you taking care of yourself. What are you consuming, whether it be physical, whether it be spiritual. So Ecclesiastes 9 and let's see here, Salaki. Ecclesiastes 9. And I'll start at 7. It says, go thy way, eat thy bread with joy, and drink thy wine with a merry heart. For God now accepteth thy works. Let thy garments be always white, and let thy head lack no ointment. You see? All right. It said, live joyfully with the wife of whom thou lovest all the days of the life of thy vanity. And another thing is, you can't allow this world to affect how you treat those around you, especially your wife. Hey, and we already know as the scriptures say, the brotherhood is actually your wife, and you can't treat your family at home with respect and honor and dignity if you can't do it to the brotherhood. All right, and that's how nations are established. It's how you deal with your neighbor. All right, so if you can't deal falsely with your neighbor, all right, and expect to go home and deal upright with your your family, if that makes sense. So Salakia, it says, let thy garments be always white, and let thy head lack no ointment. You see, so this is basically denoting cleanliness. The scriptures talk about cleanliness is next to godliness. So we don't live in filth. We don't live, without anointing ourselves. All right. It says, live joyfully with the wife of whom thou lovest all the days of the life of thy vanity. See, and this is all nothing. All right. This is all vanity. What we're going through is all vanity. Okay. It says, in which he hath given thee under the sun all the days of thy vanity, for that is thy portion in this life, and in thy labor which thou takest under the sun. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. So, no matter what we're doing, we're supposed to do it with all our might. And that goes to how we're taking care of ourselves. That goes to doing His truth. That goes to what we consume. Well, Salakia. That's just, what we do, anything that we do, whether it be extracurricular, whether it be academically, whatever, So this is Ecclesiastes 7 and 4. Well, I'll start at 2. Ecclesiastes 7 and 2, it says, it is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. Well, you know what? Let me see if this one will go. Ecclesiastes 11 and 8, because once again we're showing the balance. It says, but if a man live many years and rejoice in them all, yet let him remember the days of darkness, for they shall be many. All that cometh is vanity. Rejoice, O young man. Right? So, if you living out, especially these days, we're living out, if you have good days, just know that, those dark days are going to come, and that's just within all the balance. It says, rejoice, O young man, in thy youth, and let thy heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth, you see, and walk in the ways of thine heart, meaning your mind, and in the sight of thine eyes. But know thou that for all these things the Most High will bring thee into judgment. All right, so we can't do nothing without, there's accountability, so to speak. Can't do nothing without us being judged for it. So we just make sure we're doing the right thing. All right, therefore remove sorrow from thy heart, meaning your mind, and put away evil from thy flesh, for childhood and youth are vanity. All right, and we once thought like children, but now we are, grown, so to speak. I forget the scripture. I can't quote it even right now. We thought as a child, but the point of this is that, remove sorrow from thy heart, put away evil from thy flesh. This is Ecclesiastes 7:2. It says, it is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men. Right, the house of feasting, basically. How can you say? I wish I had my dictionary. The house of feasting is pretty much, the pride of life, partying, and the house of mourning is what, like Ezekiel 9:4 is a good example, which I'll get real quick, Slocky. Ezekiel 9:4. It says, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry, for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And the point here is, the mark being put upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So we live in a society that's full of abominations, full of evil, and we can't have joy in it, in the world or in the society, because it's evil, and so we sigh and cry, and that's why it's better to go to the house of mourning rather than the house of feasting. So Salakia, it says, for that this is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. All right, and the Lord is coming. Well, I'll read it and then I'll make my point. It says, the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. All right. And so these people in the world, their spirit, or they're in that house of feasting, that house of mirth, partying, and the Lord is coming to get rid of that, that mirthing spirit, because nobody's going to be able to stand before the Lord, because he's coming with vengeance. He's coming to recompense the world for the evil. So we don't want to be caught out there in that type of spirit where, it's all party type of deal, chambering and then wantonness, and doing all these illicit things that the world is doing. But rather, we're supposed to be focusing on getting ourselves right with the Lord, and that comes with